Okay, welcome back to the Neverwinter Nights 2, Neverwinter Nights 1 original campaign. This is Millie Swift, my Satiri monk. We're doing the original, and we're talking to Aaron Gind, which is where I left off last time. And hold it. Do my eyes deceive me? It's an avatar who matches his portrait. Huzzah!
You have shown yourself to be possessed of remarkable courage and resourcefulness. That is fortuitous, for both these qualities will be needed if you are to complete your mission. But that is not how we should begin. I am known as Aaron Gend, and I have served our Lord Nasher for some time. Hopefully, I may be of similar use to you now.
How exactly can you help
My
me?
place lies in the shadows. I have many eyes and ears throughout the northern lands, and it is my place to inform Lord Nasher where the Vipers lay in wait.
Right?
If only I had foreseen the actions of this cult, I could have prevented the disaster. But these men move skillfully out of my sight and hearing. Instead of recriminating myself for my failure, I must do what I can to repair the damage. And that is to offer what information I have to you, so that you may find where this new nest of vipers hides.
Really? Putting it all on me, then.
Erebeth has informed you of where you must search, yes? She has told you of how you may root out these fiends?
She said you would explain the details?
Unearthing the cult will not be a simple task. What few whispers I have collected, however, have allowed me to narrow your search to this region.
Okay.
It is vital that the cult's exact location be found, and that we are certain any leads we discover are not attempts at deception. Erebeth will not be satisfied until we find at least 2 separate leads that point to the same locale. That is your task. I do know of one possible lead for you. There has been strange news regarding a series of caves that lie north of Port Last. Investigation may reveal the cult to be hidden there. If not, there are other avenues for you to investigate. The city of Luskan to the north, Neverwinter Wood to the east, and the wildlands of the South Road. I suggest, however, that looking into the caves first would still be your wisest choice.
Tell me about these caves.
The caves are in the hills to the north of Port Last, near the Green Griffin Inn. They have long been used by humanoid tribes of orcs, bugbears, and the like. They aren't usually a concern.
So what's changed?
In recent months, however, I have received word that these various humanoid creatures have been raiding the roads south of Luskan.
Really?
This would not be unusual, except that the creatures now seem very organized and, I hear, are being led by humans.
Oh, that is odd. That is indeed odd.
This leads me to believe the cult may be involved. That will be for you to determine. Just keep this in mind. No matter what you find there, Erebeth will wish 2 firm leads on the cult's location before she will act. We cannot afford a mistake. Have you a question for me then, my friend?
Let's talk about something else.
Aye. What would you have of me?
How did you become a
That
spy
is a
master?
curious question, my friend. Nor does it have a simple answer if the truth be known, and is not a tale that I care to often tell.
I'd still like to hear the tale.
As you wish, my friend. Though I'll not be held responsible should you nod off during the telling of it.
Let me see. Perhaps it is best if I ask you a question first. You are a person of great skill, are you not? How is it that you came into your calling? Was it an accident? Was it born purely of talent? Do you believe you were fated to be what you are?
Oh, we didn't mean to take this path, but here I am. I mean, all that happened was I went and got some cursed bar of soap, and hey, look at me, I look like a demon.
Aye, and no doubt the same could be said for many. Few know that the path they start upon will lead where it does. I myself started life as a slave in the southern deserts of Kalimshan. Never would I have foreseen that I might become who I am today. I knew of the lush and wild jungles of my homeland, Chult, only through the bedtime tales of my mother. I have never laid eyes upon its shore. My mother was owned by a most vicious and cruel caliph. As a slave child, one learns to stay out of sight and to move silently, lest one be beaten. Moreover, I learned to listen. I listened to the chatter of the servants, the bored talk of the guards. For many, many years, I was the shadow in the caliph's halls. For all my hiding, however, I proved of no use to anyone but myself. I could not save my mother when the caliph beat her to death for spilling a tankard of his mead, for instance.
You were a child.
I blamed myself regardless, as the young often do. In grief and anger, I stabbed and killed the caliph, and was subsequently chased into the streets of Kalimpur.
What happened to you then?
I fled into the shadows of the city, and was not alone there. I found many who I will call allies and not friends, for we acted in unison only to survive. The law pursued me, so always I remained hidden and listened as I once had. The fact that I was a thief to remain alive did not help. And eventually, even the shadows of the city were no longer safe for me. I sought passage out of the city, and eventually a captain took pity on me and gave me a position aboard his ship. Perhaps you have heard of Randall the Red?
I have heard of him. He was a notorious pirate.
Aye, that he was. A pirate whose reputation along the Sword Coast was more than deserved. I joined his crew, though I was no pirate in truth. I was not fond of drink as the other sailors were, and instead spent my time at each port making new contacts and listening. Over the years, Randall grew to depend on my skill. He gave me gold to establish informants throughout the coast, and I heard news the instant it happened. It was I who kept Randall safe and one step ahead of his pursuers, for always would I know before the chase was on us.
You kept a vicious pirate alive?
Aye. I was his master of spies, though I would not have put a name to it at the time. I was grateful for Randall's kindness, for despite his reputation, he was an easy man to like. I was not fond of the looting and pillaging Randall indulged in, and did my best to subtly steer him away from the worst of it. Randall knew what I was doing, and permitted it only because I was otherwise invaluable to him. He cared not if I cringed and turned a cheek when the crew plied the worst of their bloody trade. As the years passed, I came into a certain amount of my own fame along the Sword Coast. My life was my life, and I was satisfied with it, and discharged my duty as best I knew. It was not until I encountered Lord Nasher that my life would change forever. That, however, is another tale. Ask me of it sometime, my friend.
Thank you for telling me.
And thank you for listening. As I said, it is not a tale I tell often. Back to more important matters. Is there something you needed?
What is the situation,
Grim.
Neverwinter?
Lord Nasher reports that many of our armed forces have perished from the plague, and even more are needed to restore order to the city. The worst is perhaps over now that the plague is cured, but still we reel from a crippling blow. It will be some time before things return to what they were.
What will you be doing?
I still serve as Lord Nasher's master of spies, my friend, and his need for proper information is more vital now than even before. My ear must remain to the ground, even if my efforts must be coordinated from here, rather than deeper in the shadows. I shall continue to seek word on the cult that might aid your quest, though I have my doubts in that. You will have far more success than I think. What do you wish to know? As you wish. I will certainly tell you all I know about the other places you may need to search.
Musket.
Aye, a city of pirates and base villainy. The city itself will be closed to you now, but it will be worth your while to go in that direction anyway. You should seek out the humanoid caves by the Green Griffin.
Why is Luskin
Their gates have
closed?
been sealed ever since the plague began in Neverwinter, I'm afraid. The city is quite anarchic. An outbreak there would be devastating indeed.
Okay.
I have been attempting to pull what strings I can to convince officials in Luskan that the plague is over, but I am having little luck so far. Before the gates closed, there were rumors of battles in the streets in Luskan. Who knows what transpires there? With luck, I will soon arrange you a way inside to investigate.
Lovely.
It is known as the City of Sails, home to pirates and far worse ilk, and ruled by 5 high captains who maintain an uneasy balance of power. True power, however, lies in the hands of the mages of the Arcane Brotherhood within the Host Tower. Even I know little of these
I
men.
think that was the Host Tower.
The city is powerful, anarchic, and dangerous. Luskan has challenged the Lord's alliance more than once. Be careful when you walk its streets, for many within see strangers as easy prey.
And why do you think the cultists might be in Luskin?
As you wish. I will certainly tell you all I know about the other places you may need to search.
Oh,
Aye, a city of evil men are common as coins in Luskan, my friend. This cult could walk the streets unnoticed and find many allies who would heed gold above all else.
that's pleasant.
The fact that the city remains sealed even now that the plague has ended, and so little word escapes its walls, has me worried of what events transpire there.
Well, you should be worried.
Additionally, I have been troubled by reports of humanoid banditry taking place on the road between Neverwinter and Luskan. This is unusual, and while it may simply be caused by Luskan's ignorance, it should be investigated. The road north will lead you along the coast and directly to the city's gates. As I said, getting into the city will be more of a problem than reaching it. I will attempt to remedy that as soon as possible.
Okay.
As you wish. One of the deepest and most ancient woods of the
Neverwinter
north,
Wood.
my friend. It is filled with life both beautiful and dangerous, and is tended to by the Order of Druids.
How do I get to the Neverwinter
Follow the
Wood?
road east of Port Last. The lands are wild and sparsely populated there. And when you reach the boundaries of the Great Forest, you will know.
Okay. What do you know about the place?
Like Neverwinter, the forest is warmed by the magically heated waters of the river that runs through it. It is a grand and beautiful place, I am told. Few journey through its boundaries, however, as it is said that the wood has a life of its own and is unwelcoming to outsiders. The druids of the wood, watched over by the archdruid Awil, are aware of all that passes within their charge. It is my hope that they can provide you aid.
How do I get to the Neverwinter Wood? Here we go.
The archdruid Awil has sent several letters to Lord Nasher as of late, begging for aid against some unknown force that assails the wood.
Interesting.
Lord Nasher would have provided the help the archdruid required, but could not, due to the chaos within the city. Neverwinter must come first. Awil has sent no more messages in recent days, and it is possible that the druids exist no more. The exact danger that was being faced was not explained. This cult may not even be involved. It may, however, so this may be an excellent avenue for you to search. Whatever has occurred, my friend, expect the worst. Like Neverwinter, the
already heard
druids
this.
of the wood, as you wish.
South
The
Road.
road leads eventually home to Neverwinter, but before that lay many miles of wildlands, as well as the village of Charwood. The cult could hide in many places there.
How do I get to the south?
The southern road is not so much a place you go to, my friend, as it is a route you take. It will lead you eventually to Neverwinter, but it is the region itself that concerns me. Very little. There has been little news from the village of Charwood for many years, I understand. It may have been deserted for all I can tell. ruins will be common, and it is said that other, stranger creatures may have made these wildlands their home. A powerful wizard is even said to have taken residence.
What do you think the...
I have no reports from this area. None. This disturbs me perhaps more than it should, as the cult could exist openly here, and I would not even know. I offer the South Road as a possibility mostly out of speculation, my friend. I simply would not wish to leave it out entirely, just in case my suspicions have good reason. As you wish. I will certainly tell. There are locals who could tell you more of this town, my friend. My knowledge of it is limited.
In other words, please go talk to another NPC about this. We have spent enough on our voice acting budget for this already.
I did my best to investigate Port Last before we made our base here, my friend. But what you suggest is not impossible.
It's probably even likely.
There may have been things ongoing in this place which escaped my notice. An investigation on your part is not without merit.
Okay, I'll go now.
I shall hope that the gods keep you safe, my friend.
Okay. You're an adventurer, aren't you? I mean, greetings. As my pa could certainly use your help. Calm down. What seems to be the problem? Well, my pa, his name's Geralt. Everyone in Port Last knows him. We live on a farm just north of the gates. There's lots of monsters that live in the hills around our farm. Normally they don't bother us much, but lately they've been ambushing travelers and caravans and such, being real bold. They even went and kidnapped my mother while my pa were away from the farm last week, so pa sent me to town to get help. Surely someone in authority can help you. Pa says he sent lots of messages about the troubles, but the mayor's all caught up helping Neverwinter. He's got no time to help us. There were some other adventurers who went before, but none of them has come back. I was hoping maybe you could do what they couldn't. All right, I'll help. That would be great, my lady. I'm sure my pa would appreciate you. To get to our farm, you just need to go through the north gate and follow the road a bit. I'll stay here for now. Find some more people to send to pa until he calls me back. I'm sure you'll do the trick, though. Just go and talk to him. Okay. Temple. Docks. Alliance Arms Inn. Kendrick's Mercenary Barracks. Main Farm. South Road in Charwood. Eastwood Road in Neverwinter Night. Neverwinter Wood. North Road, Green Griffin Inn, and Luskin. Altora's Magical Sundries. Ballard's Grove. Cracked Anvil. Wenev's Cottage, Al-Helor's house. Oh. First save. Millie. Quest. Let's go in here.
Greetings to you. It is rare we see new faces come to drink with us at the Alliance Inn.
Elaith Kralnover. Bastard elf. Not literally a bastard, he's a villain in certain novels I like. Well, he's a villain in the first one and kind of an anti-hero in the second one. My name is Millie. Who are you? The words are a bit forward and brusque, some might even say uncouth. My name is Elaith Kralnover, if you must know. I was going to invite you to share a drink, but never mind. Times like this, I do wish I could return to Evermeet. Ah, I've heard that name before. Ah, yes, smuggler, ruthless adventurer out of Waterdeep. Perhaps you've heard of my little encounter.
Everything happens for a reason, it does.
With the Knights of the Shield.
Me, Al-Helor.
It is of no matter. You heard tales only of the man I once was. I am no longer he, even if you choose not to believe me. What are you doing here? I am seeking passage to Evermeet. The way is closed to me, however, and seeking an alternative route is proving difficult. Why is that? Obviously, I'm one of the elven folk, and Evermeet is my ancestral home. I was born there, but left long ago. The way back is closed to me because I have not always been the best of men, you know. You see, smuggling, thievery, murder, I have my sins, I admit. I am no longer the reckless youth I once was, however. I have retired from my illegal activities and am now simply weary and seeking peace. I hope to return to Evermeet to show its beauty to my daughter, who is rather innocent, and you do actually care about her. That's a good point in your story. She has never seen...
Don't worry, young Ander. This will work out yet. Everything happens for a reason, it does.
Thanks so much for helping me, Al-Halar.
Seen the homeland of her own people, you see, and I have promised to take her there one day, though that may prove an impossible task. Please continue. The one way I may have to return home is through the construction of a ceremonial scepter gifted to the official in Luthilspar. It is a bribe of sorts, but an old and cultural one, and the requirements are very specific. It must be adorned with 5 separate gems cut by an elven master craftsman, difficult to find in Faerun, to say the least. 2 of the gems I have, the final 3 I have tracked to this area, but sadly their owners are loath to part with them for any price. Without them I cannot complete the scepter, and neither I nor my daughter will ever return to Evermeet. A fitting fate for me, perhaps, but cruelly unfair to her. I intend to get those gems, with or without the owner's permission. I will not give up on my quest now, not when I am so close. I may just have to hire someone to get them for me by whatever means necessary. Underhanded, perhaps, but I have a few options left. Get the task done would require someone's skill of stealth and guile. I'm not positive you are the woman for the job.
Thanks so much for helping me, Al-Halar.
I could get the job done, I assure you. Thank you for the offer. No offense to you, however. I've sent enough people to their deaths. I'll not be held responsible for another. If you do know of someone who has the skills I seek, however, do send them my way.
They said you was plain looking all right, but you're the hero of Neverwinter. That much is sure.
Who's they? What? The folks around the inn. That's all I meant. And what do you mean plain looking? I have wings and red skin and demon horns. What exactly do you wish exactly? You know, Millie, you have this odd, weird way of pointing out your difference and being annoyed when people point it out. That's all I meant. What do you... It's because the story is not written to include my appearance and I have to... and my player has to
Don't worry,
insert it.
This will work out yet.
And they keep talking!
For a reason, it does.
Thanks so much for helping me, Al-Halar.
What do you wish exactly? Well, I suppose I should know for sure that you are who you think you are. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm Millie. Why do you ask? Really, you actually are Millie Swift then? Yes, that's me. So you are the Millie Swift from Neverwinter, yes, the hero who saved the city, and that's a sinister portrait. You do look the part, but I must be sure. How many other people with wings, red skin, and horns do you know? Oh, quite a few, actually. There are quite a few tieflings about. But not all tieflings look like this. Well, yes, actually, now they do, ever since 4th edition. Didn't you know that? Ah! So far as I know, there's only one Millie Swift. Did you cure the plague? I mean, were you the one of the ones rounding up the reagents and everything? It was a group effort, but yeah, I was involved. Is it true there was a cult behind the plague, then, that this cult has fabricated it? Is there a point to all this?
Don't worry,
questions?
young Ander. This will work out yet. Everything happens for a reason, it does.
I am about to attack the monitor. If those guys keep talking. I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure it was really you. I want to thank you. I have family in Neverwinter, and you saved their lives when you cured the plague. I wanted to give you this ring as a token of... No, keep it. I don't need it. Oh, it's a nice ring. Please take it. That's why I wanted to find you after all, to give it to you for all you've done. No, thank you. Very well. You're not as much of a hero as I thought. How rude. And he vanishes into dust. Not creepy at all. And that's my timer. Wow, the music is loud. Solomon offended. Next video, we'll talk to these people.